Salsa Fiesta with Alana Gens.
Alana Skinner.
Jenna Cole.
Okay, so today we're going to be testing and reviewing three different types of salsa. We have Alana's homemade salsa. We have Best Choice from North Scott Foods, and we have Two Sisters from North Scott Foods. So we're going to be testing all three of those. And we have the same chip. It's Tortillo's brand, so that should be pretty good. Highly recommend that brand. And we're going to be tasting them and reviewing them on the following criteria. Okay, this one's like medium spicy, I'd say. And it's really fresh. What do you guys think?
Definitely fresh.
Mm-hmm.
There really isn't much spice to it though. Like, you get some flavor to it, but it is extremely mild. I'd say almost sweet.
It's not hot spicy, but it's flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cilantro in it.
I love cilantro.
And you can see it's kind of like chunky. And it looks thick. A lot of fresh ingredients, which is always good, so I think that helps with the flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some more. Try some more.
Definitely more chunks than sauce.
Yes, it's more like a pico, like a
Pico de
gallo.
gallo. Yeah.
But with a different kind of flavor and not quite as spicy hot.
So Alana's homemade salsa had a very mild spice factor. We couldn't really do a snap factor because it was homemade, it was in a container, but that does lead me to 3 because it was very easy to open.
And the texture was very chunky because it was natural and fresh ingredients. And it was made up of cilantro, jalapenos, tomatoes, onions, that kind of flavoring. It reminded me of a pico de gallo, and the presentation was very nice and fresh looking.
So we are trying to find another person to try this next salsa with us.
Just stopped at North Scott Foods, picked this up. It's some Best Choice salsa. It should be pretty good. We're going to see. First of all, we're going to test how fast and easy it opens because, you know, some cans are hard to open.
Hey, I think we passed Emma.
Okay. Oh, Emma, come here. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like the taste or the spiciness of it?
It's mild, so it tastes really good. But it's not overly spicy, but it's not overly sweet.
What about the texture?
It's smooth and creamy.
Not very chunky.
No.
Sounds like she likes it. I'm gonna try it, guys. It's more spice than the other salsa that we tried, but that's very good too.
It is very spicy, and I have no tolerance for spice. It is smooth, like you said, Emma.
A little spicy consistency going on. A little thick and chunky, but also smooth. Red has a tomatoey vibe to it. That's kind of spicy. That's pretty spicy, actually. Yeah. Give it a solid 7 out of 10. Not bad.
It's already spicy.
So kind of spicy, yeah.
It's a little bit like too like soft. It's like you're eating.
You didn't get any chunks though.
Yeah, that's gross. I would never.
That's all.
Alrighty, so Best Choice salsa, the spice factor is pretty high. Wasn't very mild this time. Had a lot of seasoning and kick to it. Snap factor was very good. Alana got a really good snap out of it. And it was pretty easy to open considering we could open it.
The texture was also very chunky, similar to the homemade salsa, but in the same way it had that smooth tomato pasty texture to it. And it was made up of mostly tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos, which contributed to that spice. And the presentation was pretty good overall, and it seemed like a good and fresh salsa, and it contributed with the chips nice.
So, last night,
Alana and I picked up Two Sisters salsa. This is our last salsa that we will be tasting today.
Ooh.
That's a nice snap factor to
Good
it.
snap.
All right, guys, let's try it.
Sorry, go ahead. How is it?
It's mildly spicy, not as spicy as the Best Choice one. I think medium. It tastes fresh. It's a little bit runny.
Let me try.
Yeah.
I think you're right with the spice and also the runniness. It is very liquidy, as you can see in the jar. It has a good amount of like tomato to like basil and onion jalapeno ratio going on.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Jenna, what about you?
I say it's pretty good. I have a decently high spice tolerance, so this still tastes pretty mild to me. But definitely a lot of flavor. I'm sorry, but I think it does have more flavor than your homemade.
Oh no.
I still love the homemade, but it does have a little more flavor. It is a lot runnier. So I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but definitely less chunks. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, overall it's really good. I
Right.
think it's a little bit better than Best Choice. I don't know.
Yeah,
You guys can
definitely.
argue.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think that was my least favorite out of the 3 that we've tested.
And you're the only one that's tried all 3, right?
Yeah, I think the homemade was actually my favorite, and this one second. So, yeah, it's pretty good though.
Alrighty, so for Two Sister Salsa, we all got it try, and the spice factor was pretty high again. Didn't have as much kick as the last one, but still pretty flavorful. Had a really good snap factor and was very easy to open.
So for the texture on this one, I felt like it was more soupier and runny than the other 2 salsas, but it still had that good combination of all the ingredients. And for the makeup, made up of the same ingredients as the other 2 salsas. However, I thought I detected a little bit more cilantro flavoring. And then for the presentation, I thought that was pretty good as well. Mostly tomatoes like the other salsas, but I did like the packaging better on this particular Two Sisters salsa.
Thank you for being a part of our Salsa Fiesta.